Have you ever felt it? That quiet kind of restlessness inside,
hmm
even when everything on the surface seems, well, perfectly fine.
Yeah, like you're ticking the boxes.
Exactly. You're busy, you're meeting expectations maybe, but there's this persistent little feeling, isn't there, that something's missing?
Right. Or maybe just unexplored.
Yes, unexplored, like a part of you hasn't been fully expressed yet.
hmm
That sense that there's something more you were meant to do or feel or maybe create that just, it hasn't quite happened.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Well, if that does resonate with you listening, you're definitely in the right place.
Right.
Because that feeling, often that's the very first whisper of passion trying to get your attention.
It really is.
And today we are taking a deep dive into exactly that, how you can find and, nurture that passion in your life. And we're drawing specifically from the fantastic source material you shared with us.
Yeah, and our mission here really is to try and help you cut through some of the noise. There's just so much generic advice out there, right? So many cliches about finding your passion.
Totally.
So we've really gone through the articles, the research, the notes you sent over to pull out the key nuggets, the really important insights.
Okay.
The goal is to give you a clearer picture, maybe a more realistic one, of what passion actually is and, crucially, some practical ways you can start uncovering it for yourself.
Right, because the material offers such a fresh take, I thought. It really pushes back against some common ideas about passion, the ones that can actually feel kind of paralyzing.
Definitely.
It shows that finding it isn't some, mystical quest just for a lucky few.
I don't know.
It's genuinely accessible. It's not about waiting for that big lightning bolt moment.
Right, the Hollywood version.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's more about understanding it's a journey, a process you can actively, start right now.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start right there. When we hear the word passion, what usually pops into our heads?
Yeah, what's the image?
It's often this huge, burning fire, right? Something intense, all-consuming, maybe even a bit dramatic. Obvious.
And that image, well, that can actually be one of the first things that trips us up.
How so?
Because looking at the definitions in the material you shared, passion can be loud and dramatic, sure. But it's also described quite beautifully, I thought, as this soft, persistent pull.
Oh, okay. Not always a roar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A pull towards something deeply meaningful to you. It could be the simple joy you find when you're creating something. Or that quiet satisfaction, when you solve a really tricky problem.
Yeah.
Or even just that little flutter of excitement you feel when you imagine yourself doing something you genuinely love. It can be subtle. At its heart, one piece of research framed passion as, well, pure energy.
Energy, I like that.
Yeah. It's the energy that fuels purpose in your life.
Yeah.
It's that internal spark that doesn't just get you out of bed, but actually makes you want to engage with the day. It's the feeling of being truly connected to your talents, your interests, and often, connected to something bigger than just yourself. It's what makes life feel truly full, not just busy.
Full, not just busy. That's a great distinction.
Yeah.
And you do see it sometimes, that intense, obvious passion, the kid who's always dancing, the teenager glued to their camera.
Sure. Those examples exist.
But the articles really highlighted that for so many people, maybe most people, that passion is initially hidden. It gets buried.
Under what, typically?
Well, buried under fear, maybe self-doubt, all the distractions of modern life,
Okay.
and perhaps most significantly buried under external expectations. We're so often told, or at least nudged, to be practical, choose stability, follow the safe path.
The sensible choice.
Exactly, the predictable route.
And the material suggests that if you spend years ignoring those quiet whispers, life can start to feel, well, monotonous, like you're just going through the motions. The job might be fine, the routine's comfortable, but that inner spark starts to dim. And that's precisely why finding this connection is presented as being so vital.
Why is it so important according to the sources?
Well, it's described as a fundamental building block of fulfillment. It's the seed from which your sense of purpose can actually grow.
Purpose. Okay.
And purpose gives it essential direction to your life. Without it, you risk feeling like you're just drifting, aimless. The studies and articles you shared pointed pretty consistently to a strong link here.
Between passion and...
Well-being, essentially. People who feel connected to a passion, whether it's in their job, a hobby, a cause, they report significantly higher levels of happiness,
Okay.
more resilience when things get tough, more creativity, even better physical health.
Wow, physical health too.
Yeah, the connection is there. It gives you that deep-seated fuel to push through difficulties. It helps you make decisions that feel truly aligned with who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And it empowers you, really, to build a life that feels authentic to you, not just one that meets some external definition of success.
And there was a point in the material that really, really hit home for me.
What was that?
Passion isn't just about what you're doing. It's fundamentally about how it makes you feel while you're doing it.
That's crucial, isn't it?
Totally. You could have a job that sounds, I don't know, boring from the outside, maybe organizing data, fixing things. But if that process gives you deep satisfaction, if it challenges you in a good way, connects to your values, then that is your passion showing up right there.
Absolutely.
And conversely, you could have the glamorous job, the one everyone envies, but if it drains you, leaves you feeling empty, like you're putting on a performance, then it's probably not your passion, no matter how good it looks.
That distinction, tuning into your internal experience, not just the external appearance, is so, so important.
Yeah.
And another vital point from the source is passion isn't necessarily a single exclusive thing. You're not limited to one box.
Thank goodness.
Right. You can absolutely have multiple passions. Maybe you love science and writing, or you're a dedicated parent and building a business.
Mm-hmm.
One source described it beautifully as a landscape to explore, not just a single dot on a map.
Yeah.
And it evolves.
Ah, okay. It changes.
Yeah. What felt like your driving passion in your 20s
Mm-hmm.
might naturally shift as you gain life experience.
Yeah.
You grow, life changes, your passions evolve alongside you.
That makes sense.
The real key isn't finding one thing and clinging to it forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's being connected to that fundamental feeling, feeling alive, engaged, present in whatever you're doing now.
Which brings us right back to that initial restlessness we talked about. So many people feel like they've settled. Life's okay, but not vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost never because they're lazy, is it?
Rarely. Often it's simply because they haven't had the right guidance, or maybe felt they didn't have the permission or the space to explore what genuinely lights them up.
Right. Maybe you were told that dream was unrealistic.
Or you had to choose love or money.
Yeah. Or you've just been waiting for the perfect time to even think about those little interests bubbling under the surface.
And the absolute truth, emphasized again and again in the material you shared.
What's that?
The perfect time just doesn't exist.
Ah, no kidding.
And you definitely don't need anyone's permission to start looking. This deep dive is really about helping you reconnect with that part of yourself. The part that might have gotten quiet.
Mm-hmm.
The part that still gets genuinely excited by certain things, that's naturally curious, imaginative, that feels that quiet pull towards something that might not seem practical at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where passion lives.
Not in the big lightning strike.
Not usually, no.
Yeah.
Not in waiting for a calling. It's found in the simple, deliberate act of paying attention.
Paying attention
To what subtly moves you, what sparks your interest, what activities give you energy, and maybe most importantly, what makes you feel most authentically you.
Okay. So, as we unpack this further, maybe the key takeaway for you listening is this. You absolutely do not need to have it all figured out before you start.
Please, no. Don't wait for that.
The spark is already there. You just need to be willing to listen, willing to explore, willing to try things, even if you stumble.
Trust that it's in you.
Yeah. It's not something you just find once, like lost keys.
No, it's more like a relationship you cultivate with yourself, with the world.
A relationship you grow into. And that process, that journey, it can start right now. Okay, so one of the biggest roadblocks, according to the sources you sent, is that we often operate under these well, myths about passion, wrong assumptions.
Yeah, these ingrained ideas about what it's supposed to look like.
Right. We see the highlight reels, the stories of people who always knew from age 5.
The prodigy narratives.
Exactly. And it creates this totally unrealistic standard. It makes so many people feel like they failed before you've even started looking. These myths are powerful blockers.
Absolutely. They paint this distorted picture. And when our own messy, uncertain reality doesn't match up, it's just incredibly discouraging.
Yeah.
The material you sent does a great job of breaking these down systematically. And honestly, just letting them go can be so freeing.
Okay, let's do it. Myth number 1.
Myth number 1, the idea that you have to be born with it. Like you're either a creative type or you're not, a natural leader or you're not.
Right, fixed labels.
Exactly. But the truth, as presented in your sources, is that passion is very much something you develop.
Would help, not just inherit.
Precisely. Someone might show an early interest, sure, but passions deepen through exposure, through practice, through putting in the time. It's not an inherited trait. It's a relationship you build.
A relationship with what?
With your curiosity, mainly, and your commitment to exploring it. One article used a great analogy. You weren't born knowing your favorite food.
No, definitely not. Lots of trial and error there.
Exactly. You tried different things until you discovered what you loved. Passion's similar. It's discovered through exploration and experience.
Okay, that makes so much more sense. Cultivated, not just conferred at birth.
Spot on, which leads right into myth number 2.
Yeah?
Passion strikes like lightning.
The big aha moment.
Yeah, the dramatic epiphany narrative. One day you're lost, the next, boom, crystal clear purpose.
Doesn't usually happen like that, does it?
Almost never, according to the sources. It's much, much more like watching a sunrise.
A sunrise, how so?
It's slow, gradual, unfolding over time, sometimes almost imperceptible at first. You uncover it bit by bit.
Through what?
Through experimentation, reflection, trial and error, following little clues, noticing what gives you energy. Those small sparks slowly build into a flame. Waiting for the lightning just keeps you stuck. You need consistent curiosity and, the courage to take small steps into the unknown. Myth number 3. Your passion has to be extraordinary.
Meaning,
unless it's about, solving world hunger or becoming a famous artist or something globally significant, it doesn't really count.
Oh, the pressure.
Right. But the material makes a really clear case. Passion doesn't need to be dramatic or world-changing to be deeply meaningful to you.
Like what, for example?
It could be gardening, fixing bikes for neighbors, mastering a complex recipe, volunteering at the library. It doesn't need to be your career. It doesn't have to make money. You don't have to be an expert.
So what's the test then?
The only real test is how alive it makes you feel when you're doing it. That's it.
Oh, that's such a relief. That really takes the pressure off.
It absolutely does. And that ties into myth number 4. There's only one true passion.
The soulmate theory for work.
Exactly. The idea that there's one single thing you're meant to do and you just have to find it. But humans are far too complex for that. The material wisely points out we have multiple interests, we evolve. Our passions can be more like a series of meaningful relationships.
Relationships.
Yeah, that show up at different times in our lives.
Yeah.
Some might last a season, others might be lifelong companions. You can definitely have more than one passion, and it's totally okay for them to shift and change. Let go of the pressure to find the one.
Okay, good advice. What's next?
Myth number 5. Passion should feel easy.
If it's hard, it must not be it.
Right. The myth suggests if it's your true passion, it'll just flow effortlessly. No struggle, no boredom. Your sources push back hard on this. Passion absolutely includes struggle. Writers get writer's block. Artists have off days. Entrepreneurs face rejection. Just because something is challenging doesn't mean it's not your passion. In fact, sometimes the willingness to push through the discomfort shows how much it matters to you.
Right. You stick with it because you care.
Exactly. You're willing to deal with the hard parts. And finally, the really insidious one, myth number 6. If you haven't found it by now, it's too late.
Oh, yeah, the miss the boat feeling.
Exactly. Like passion has an expiration date, and if you didn't figure it out in your 20s, you're done for.
But that's not true.
firmly refuted in the material. People discover powerful, fulfilling passions at all ages.
Mm,
30s, 50s, 70s, beyond.
really?
Absolutely. The only thing that's truly too late is choosing never to start exploring at all. Your age doesn't define your potential for passion. Your willingness to explore does.
Wow. Okay, so busting these myths, why is that so crucial?
Because they are paralyzing. They create immense pressure. They make people feel like failures before they've even taken a step. They stop people from trying new things, from asking the right questions, from just giving themselves permission to do something because it sparks their interest.
Right. They shut down the exploration.
Completely. But when you actively let go of these myths, you realize passion isn't some elusive goal you wait for. It's an ongoing journey, a discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Finding it isn't about waiting for inspiration. It's about paying attention, following curiosity, experimenting, allowing yourself space to grow. It's a process.
It's not a destination.
Exactly. And the material makes it incredibly clear. Passion is real, it's possible for you, and it's waiting in 1,000 small steps. You don't have to wait, you just have to start looking.
All right, so we've kind of grounded ourselves in what passion really is, maybe what it isn't, debunked those big myths. Now, for the million-dollar question, how? How do you actually start this process? How do you uncover what genuinely lights you up?
Yeah, the practical stuff.
Exactly. And the source material laid out some really fantastic, actionable steps.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we begin?
It all starts with step one. Start with curiosity.
Curiosity. Okay.
The material describes curiosity as the essential spark, the seed that can eventually grow into the fire of passion. You absolutely have to be interested in something, even just a little bit, before you can love it deeply.
Makes sense.
It's that quiet, persistent pull we mentioned, less like a loud sign, more like a trail of breadcrumbs leading you forward.
Okay, but in today's world, endless information, endless distraction, how do you even notice that subtle signal? What does curiosity look like?
The sources suggest actively paying attention to where your attention naturally drifts. What catches your eye online? What videos do you find yourself watching? What topics do you end up reading articles about, even if they seem totally random? What do you talk about freely, enthusiastically when you're just relaxed?
What you Google when no one's looking.
Exactly. Or what activities make you completely lose track of time? Forget your phone. The material says these aren't just random distractions. They are significant clues. Pay attention. Think about the examples shared in your sources. The person stuck in a job, but constantly watching architecture videos, who eventually pivoted.
Right.
Or the woman in finance drawn to mental health topics, who ended up volunteering, then coaching. Their passions followed that thread of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of starting with curiosity is it's so low stakes.
Meaning?
Meaning you don't have to quit your job. You don't have to make huge commitments. You just need to be willing to take the next small step.
Like what?
Read that article. Watch that documentary. Sign up for one beginner workshop. Have coffee with someone doing something interesting. Try a free online demo. Just lean in a little closer.
No shame in starting small.
Zero shame. The material emphasizes this. Every expert, every passionate person started as a curious beginner who just decided to explore. Curiosity gives you permission to experiment without needing expertise or fearing judgment.
And the articles ask some really powerful, freeing questions for the listener here.
Yeah.
Like, what topics do I keep returning to? What problems do I actually enjoy trying to solve? What hobbies have I always secretly wanted to try? What conversations make me feel genuinely alive? And the big one, what would I explore or learn if there were absolutely no consequences or expectations?
Those questions are designed to free you up, right? To connect you back to that part of you that just wants to explore and play. That's where the seeds are. But building right on that, step two, look back your childhood.
Go back in time.
Yeah. Sometimes the clearest way forward is actually to look back. Back to what captivated you before the world started telling you who to be.
Why childhood?
There's often a purity in childhood passions. They weren't usually about money or status. They were fueled by pure joy, wonder, curiosity. What did you love doing for hours back then?
Hmm.
What were you drawn to before you learned about shoulds and expectations?
And the key here, emphasized in the material, isn't just what you did, but how it made you feel.
Exactly, the feeling behind the action.
Were you lost for hours drawing, absorbed in reading, building things, organizing games, helping friends? Those patterns matter, don't they? They're echoes.
They really are echoes of your deeper inclinations. The examples were great. The kid drawing cartoons might have a core drive for visual expression.
Right.
Playing teacher could point to coaching or mentoring later. Taking things apart might signal a love for problem solving or systems. Playing store could be early entrepreneurship.
Clues to your unfiltered self.
Precisely. And we often lose touch, the material explained, because we're pushed to be realistic, choose safety, make choices based on grades or job markets, not genuine love.
Mm-hmm. That inner voice fades.
But it's never truly gone. Those memories are still there, offering guidance.
And there's a simple exercise suggested, right?
Yeah, really simple. Just journal or think about your earliest joyful absorbed memories. List the games, roles, subjects that fascinated you. Then look for the patterns, the emotions, the values underneath.
It's not about becoming your childhood self again.
No, not literally. It's about remembering the essence of what made you feel alive and authentically you. What did you love before the world told you who to be?
Exactly. Sometimes things you were discouraged from doing are worth revisiting now. It's never too late. Passion isn't always adding something new. Sometimes it's remembering what was already there.
Reclaiming it.
Your past holds clues. If you feel stuck, looking back can be surprisingly powerful. Okay, moving on. Step 3. Find flow. What makes you lose track of time?
The flow state.
Right. Such a simple question, but the material presents it as incredibly powerful. When do you get so completely absorbed that hours just vanish? That's flow. Fully immersed, present, skills meeting challenge, deep satisfaction.
So for you listening, what makes you lose track of time? Is it creative, physical, intellectual, relational?
And a key point from the sources. Don't judge the activity. Don't worry if it seems productive or important to others. Just notice what holds your attention effortlessly.
What makes you forget your phone? What do you look forward to? Yes. Those are powerful signals of what truly matters to you, your natural rhythm. Passion often lives right there, in those focused, flowing moments. It doesn't have to be grand. Gardening, spreadsheets, chess, coding, building something. What matters is how it makes you feel internally.
Why is flow so significant?
Finding flow is powerful because it's alignment. Mind, interest, energy working together. It's consistently highlighted as worth exploring, often a gateway to growth, mastery, confidence.
And if you feel like you don't experience flow right now,
Yeah, what then?
the sources reassure you. It doesn't mean you're passionless. Maybe just overwhelmed, distracted, or haven't found the right thing yet.
So start small again.
Yeah, think back. When did you last feel even briefly engaged? What were you doing? If nothing comes up, see it as an invitation to try new things. Flow doesn't always happen instantly. And one clear clue from the material: flow activities often give you energy rather than draining you. You might feel tired after, but it's a good tired. Satisfied.
Right, not depleted.
Exactly. Strong signal. So instead of asking, what's my purpose? Maybe the more accessible question the material suggests is, when do I feel most alive?
Yes, not most useful, successful, or validated, but truly, deeply alive. That feeling is presented as one of your most reliable internal compasses.
Exactly. Passion doesn't always start as a bonfire. Sometimes it's that quiet focus, that flow state. Follow that, protect it, build around it. The more time in flow, the closer you get to your passion taking shape. The answer to what makes you lose track of time might be where it's hiding. Okay, next step. This one might feel a bit uncomfortable at first, but the material presents it as surprisingly useful. Step 4. Use envy as a compass.
Envy. Really, we're usually told that's bad.
Right. Suppress it, be ashamed. But the sources reframe it completely, suggesting it's actually one of the most honest signals your inner self can send.
Honest how?
That little twinge you feel when someone else is doing something you secretly wish you were, it's a mirror.
A mirror reflecting your hidden desires, a life you've been afraid to admit you want, a path you secretly long for. Instead of just feeling bad, ask, what is this trying to show me? And the material emphasizes, envy is rarely literal. You don't want their exact life, their specific problems.
Right?
But something about their world resonates deeply. If you envy a musician, is it their talent? Freedom, creativity, courage. Maybe it points to your missed creativity, your craving for expression.
So instead of shame, get curious.
Precisely. Ask, what exactly about this sparks this feeling? What do they have or do that I wish I could explore? Is this pointing to a neglected part of me? Let it guide your inquiry, not your judgment.
How are passion and envy connected then?
The suggestion is that envy stings most when it touches a nerve that knows you're capable of more or are meant for something different. It's your unmet potential tapping you on the shoulder. Now, it only becomes harmful if it turns into bitterness or comparison paralysis. But use as information, it's fuel. Instead of, I could never do that, ask, why does this matter so much to me? Instead of, I'm not good enough, ask, what's one tiny way I could explore something similar? The examples we're telling. The woman envying retreat runners realized it wasn't the retreat, but the freedom, leadership, connection it symbolized.
Ah.
The man envying a TED speaker missed expressing his own ideas. Sometimes envy is just seeing someone braver than you're currently being. Maybe it's time for your version of courage. And the source material makes a powerful point. The opposite of envy isn't just admiration, it's action.
Action. Okay. Listen to what it reveals, then act. So the key questions when envy pops up are, who or what do I envy, and specifically why? What does it symbolize that resonates? What unmet desires is this revealing? And crucially, what's one tiny low-stakes step I could take to explore that resonance?
Absolutely. Reframe it. Not a flaw, but a flashlight. Pointing towards something meaningful, maybe buried. It's not too late to listen. Underneath the discomfort is a message, a longing, a passion asking to be seen. Once you see it, you can start the journey. Okay, next up, a really practical tool. Step 5. Conduct a passion audit.
Sounds very official. An audit.
Huh? Yeah, it sounds like a business term, but it's really an audit of your own precious energy. It's about taking an honest step back, observing your daily life, and sorting experiences based on how they impact your energy.
Auditing your energy. I like that. Getting real about what actually matters to you.
Exactly. The sources suggest 3 simple categories. Track this over a week or 2. What excites me, what drains me, and what bores me.
Okay, excites, drains, bores.
Then honestly, without judgment, look at different parts of your life, work tasks, hobbies, social interactions, chores, and put them in the right bucket.
Put those where?
Excites. Energy hotspots, activities, talks, ideas that give you energy, make you lean in, feel alive. Maybe leading, deep talks, planning, writing, teaching, brainstorming.
Got it.
Drains, energy leaks, things that leave you exhausted, depleted, long meetings, repetitive tasks, shallow interactions, saying yes when you mean no.
We all have those.
Bores, maybe the most subtle, disengaged, distracted, restless, empty. Mindless paperwork, rigid routines without purpose, just going through the motions.
Okay, got the categories. Then what?
Then you look for patterns. What types of activities consistently excite you? What environments? What consistently drains or bores you? What shuts down your engagement? These are your energy trends. The material presents this as a powerful wake-up call. It shows you, often starkly, what's giving you life versus what's taking it away.
Doesn't mean you eliminate all drains immediately, right?
Yeah, often unrealistic. But awareness is key. It allows you to be intentional. The magic happens when you consciously spend more time on your hotspots and find ways to minimize or shift the drains and bores.
Tilting your life towards what fuels you.
Exactly. Adding more energizers, subtracting the drainers, replacing shoulds with wants where possible. Even small, consistent shifts based on this energy awareness can lead to massive change over time. Think of the example. The finance person finds coaching junior staff is in their excites list. That's a huge clue. Maybe leads to leadership, training, a side project.
Or someone finds solo work draining, but collaborative work lights them up.
Precisely. They need to seek out more team-based environments. The audit doesn't give all the answers, but it organizes the signals your life is already sending through your energy.
So the key audit questions are, when do I feel most engaged, alive, energized? When do I feel most resistance, dread, drained? Where does my energy naturally rise and where does it consistently fade?
And paying attention here leads towards passion that's grounded, sustainable, rooted in who you are, not just doing what you theoretically love, but noticing what actually brings you to life and building more of that. Your energy is speaking. This audit helps you listen. And finally, perhaps the most crucial step of all. Step 6. Perform passion experiments.
Experiments. I like the sound of that. Less pressure.
Exactly. The material's very clear. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to know exactly what your passion is. You don't even need to be good at it before you start. Exploration first, clarity later.
It's like finding your favorite music, the source said. You sample, explore, follow what clicks.
Precisely. Finding passion is the same. Low stakes, judgment-free, trying.
So the question for you listening is, what's one small thing you could try this week? Just for fun, just out of curiosity, something that calls to you, even slightly.
Like what?
Maybe trying painting, a coding lesson, gardening, writing for 10 minutes, a new recipe, volunteering, designing something simple, picking up an instrument, endless possibilities.
And the goal isn't instant results or mastery. It's the experience. How does your body feel? Your mind, your energy.
What if it falls flat?
That's okay. That's just data. Tells you this isn't it. But if something clicks, if
Right.
time slips away, even if it's messy, that's a significant clue. That's feedback you only get by doing. The material acknowledges fear is the big barrier here. Fear of not being good, looking silly, failing, wasting time. But passion requires presence, the sources say, not perfection. You don't need to monetize it, share it, commit forever. You're just trying it on.
Getting out of your head into life.
Exactly. Clarity isn't waited for. It's created through action, exploration, experience. Waiting until you know for sure means you probably never start. Being willing to experiment imperfectly opens you up to surprises. You might stumble into meaning. Every experiment teaches you something. Build confidence, creates momentum. One leads to another. The examples were varied. Pottery class leads to woodworking, leads to furniture design.
Or writing fiction leads to loving essays.
Right. The core passion was there. It just needed space to find its form through trying things. The most powerful thing here is removing the pressure. You are allowed to do things just because they interest you. Allowed to be a beginner, allowed to mess up. Stop judging, start noticing how things feel. Passion grows gently through play and curiosity.
So the real question isn't, am I good at this?
It's, do I enjoy the process? Does this light something up inside me? Do I want to do it again? That's how passion is born, through play, curiosity, willingness to try. If you feel stuck, trying to figure it out in your head, stop. Start experimenting. Try something new, random, something you think you'll be bad at. One small experiment might open a door you never knew existed.
Okay, so we have these steps. Curiosity, looking back, flow, envy, auditing, experimenting. How do these pieces fit together into the bigger picture? How do we connect the dots for actually living a passionate life?
Yeah, the broader context, the material you shared, ties this together beautifully. One of the most compelling points is that action creates clarity.
Action creates clarity. Say more about that.
So many people get stuck waiting for the sign, the perfect moment, the answer to magically appear before they feel ready to move.
The once I figure it out, then I'll start feeling.
Exactly. But the sources fundamentally challenge this. They argue clarity doesn't come before action. It comes because of it. Passion, purpose. They aren't things you find fully formed. They are built step by step through doing.
So clarity emerges from movement.
Yes, from trying things, doing, showing up, even when you're uncertain. Passion isn't a treasure map you find and follow. It unfolds as you walk the path.
Like learning to ride a bike.
Perfect analogy used in the sources. You don't wait until you perfectly understand balance before getting on. You get on, wobble, maybe fall, but you learn through the doing. You don't wait until you're sure. You don't need confidence or certainty to begin. Just courage to start. Even if it's messy, awkward, makes no sense from the outside. When you move, the world responds. You get feedback, internal energy, external results. You learn what you enjoy, what challenges you, what drains you. The picture forms because you started moving. Clarity builds like that sunrise slowly brightening.
Waiting is, what did the source call it?
Paralysis disguised as preparation.
Whew, that hits home.
The path reveals itself as you walk it. Requires courage to begin without certainty. You don't need a 5-year plan now, you need a first step. Start with what you know, what's interesting, what's in front of you. Figure it out as you go.
Nobody starts with perfect clarity, right? Even people we admire.
None of them. They started uncertain, took risks, followed sparks. Clarity followed their action. It wasn't a prerequisite.
So for you listening, what's stopping you? Waiting to be ready? Perfect. Sure, let that go. Be curious. Be willing to explore. Messy starts are where the real stories begin.
Give yourself permission. Be a beginner. Fumble. Be uncertain. Learn through action. Clarity isn't a light from above. It's a fire you build within, spark by spark. Don't wait. Move anyway.
Another powerful theme was the power of community.
Right. Passion isn't always a solo mission.
Not at all. Being around people genuinely excited about what they do is incredibly contagious. It sparks your energy, your curiosity, opens your mind to possibilities you wouldn't see alone. It's a living network.
Support, ideas, wisdom.
Exactly. Joining communities, clubs, workshops, online forums gives space to learn, share, grow. You hear stories, get advice, see how others navigate challenges. You realize you're not alone. Mentors, even informal ones, offer guidance.
Even if you're introverted.
Yeah, online communities are great for that. Connect at your own pace. The material stresses, the people you spend time with influence your mindset, your energy. Surround yourself with curious, supportive people. It has a ripple effect.
So a practical step here is to actively look for connection. Definitely. Look for groups. Seek mentors or peers. Attend an event. Join a forum, engage with passionate people. It fuels your own fire, helps you discover parts of yourself.
Because passion doesn't grow in isolation.
It flourishes when shared, celebrated, supported. Surround yourself with inspired people. Watch your own passion ignite and expand. The material also explored a really powerful origin for passion. Sometimes it emerges from passion, from pain or cause.
Not from joy, but from difficulty.
Exactly. Sometimes it's ignited by frustration, injustice, personal struggle, something that breaks your heart and demands attention. This type is potent because it connects directly to your deepest values and purpose.
What breaks your heart is a clue.
A profound one, the sources suggest. Environmental issues, social injustice, animal welfare, mental health struggles. The things that genuinely fire you up, that you can't ignore, are often windows into your life's work.
That anger, determination, empathy.
It's real, urgent energy. Channeled constructively, it's a force for change. For those drawn to activism or social justice, noticing these triggers is vital. They're signposts to where you can make a difference.
So honor those difficult feelings.
Yes. Ask, what issues are impossible to ignore? What injustices make me act? What stories shake me? Identify themes. See where your passion flows. Volunteer, educate, create art, organize, maybe dedicate a career, fueled by contributing to something bigger.
Doesn't mean a life of struggle, though.
No, not necessarily. Channeling it constructively can be joyful, inspiring, rewarding. Aligning with what fires you up brings deep meaning. Notice what moves you deeply. Strong emotions can be powerful guides. And another essential piece of wisdom, balancing passion and practicality.
Ah, yes, the real world intrudes.
Right. The myth is passion must be your job, all-consuming. But the reality is more nuanced, more flexible. It doesn't have to pay all the bills or define every moment. Balance is key.
Because turning passion into a career can sometimes backfire.
It can. The pressure deadlines, finances, expectations can sometimes dampen the pure joy you felt initially.
So passion can thrive alongside a career.
Absolutely. Through hobbies, side hustles, volunteer work, engaging deeply without the income pressure keeps it fresh, playful.
Like the teacher who paints, the marketer volunteering.
Exactly. Side hustles are great low-pressure experiments. Freedom plus security. They enrich life, build skills, maybe bring income without replacing the main job.
Fulfillment from multiple sources.
Yes. Career gives challenge, finance. Passion gives joy. connection. Balance creates a life that's stable and vibrant, room to grow, flexibility if passions change. Practicality matters. It's not about hating your job. It's designing a sustainable life supporting responsibilities and dreams.
It's not one size fits all.
Not at all. Quiet or loud, big or small. Weave it in the right way, energizes without burnout. It's harmony, not compromise. Explore balance with side projects, hobbies, volunteering.
Passion isn't all or nothing.
Just a spark that brightens the everyday. Honor practical needs and inner desires. That's a thriving whole person. And finally, a crucial truth. Passion evolves. Be patient.
It's not fixed, set in stone.
Not at all. It's living, dynamic. It grows, shifts, changes as you do. Being patient with this process is essential.
So don't feel like a failure if interests shift.
Absolutely not. It's fluid, like a river. Patience means trusting the process, letting go of pressure, embracing curiosity about new paths.
Life changes, you change, passion changes.
It's natural. Growth. Life. New interests spark. Old ones feel less relevant in their original form. Priorities shift. Doesn't mean you failed. It means you're evolving. The way you engage might change, like the performer becoming a teacher.
Patience also means allowing for experiments, mistakes.
Yes. Trial and error is learning. Evolution takes time. Discovery, rediscovery. Fiery days, unsure days, both part of it. Okay, if it takes a back seat sometimes, just stay attuned.
So make it a practice to check in regularly.
Yeah. Ask. What excites me now? New ideas. Old interests in new ways. New challenges. Follow those answers, even if the path looks different than expected.
Passion grows deeper, more complex, like you.
Its ability to evolve is healthy. Means you're moving, expanding, adapting. Be patient, gentle. Celebrate discoveries, shifts, detours. Heart open, mind curious. Passion isn't a destination. It's a journey to embrace. Unfolds with experience, lessons, steps. Grows with you, reflects you. Creates a vibrant life. It's okay to change, grow, evolve. Evolution keeps life rich. Be patient, open, keep evolving. Your passion is alive, and so are you.
So this moment right now, listening to this is really your invitation.
A starting line.
Yeah, an invitation to take just one intentional step towards discovering or maybe deepening your passion. Doesn't have to be huge, doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't need to be fully formed. Just a step, one simple action.
Keep it small.
Exactly. So here's a concrete suggestion right from the material. This week, choose just one new thing to try or explore based on the clues we've talked about.
Make it feel easy, maybe fun.
Yes. Maybe listen to a podcast on a topic that sparked something. Take a walk somewhere new. Sketch for 10 minutes. Try a new recipe. Read an article about a cause. The only goal. Follow that tiny spark of curiosity and just notice how it feels.
No overthinking, no judgment.
None. Remember, passion's a process. Accumulating small experiences, not an instant destination.
And that first step is pure experiment, pure exploration. It's giving yourself permission to try, play, learn without pressure.
Just showing up with openness.
Right. And every step builds momentum. Use the clues, what grabs your attention, childhood joys, flow, feeling alive, what breaks your heart. Let those guide your choice.
And once you take that step, pause and reflect. How did it feel? What did you notice? Surprised? Didn't enjoy it? That's all valuable learning. Helps you refine the journey. Every experience gives info.
Even the ones that don't stick.
We'd genuinely love for you to share your experience, actually. What did you try? What did you discover, big or small?
Yeah, sharing helps everyone.
Your story matters. Sharing connects us, builds that supportive community, inspires others to take their own step. Passion grows in connection and action.
So the core message, really distilled from everything. Your passion journey truly begins with one simple action.
One step.
One moment of curiosity.
One spark of joy you choose to nurture.
Go ahead. Take that step. Your passion awaits.